All right, guys, welcome to the NC Fit Club team call for August the 11th, 2015. And thanks for tuning in a little bit early because I wanted to make sure that we are able to accommodate Dennis's schedule. And I'm going to end – some of you probably already saw us talking, but I got to tell this story because Dennis doesn't even know this, and he doesn't know I was going to tell this story. But I remember the first time that Dennis and I are both three-time elite coaches, so we've been elite the same years. And I'll never forget, and if I'm wrong, please stop me, Dennis, but I'm pretty sure I'm 99.9% you were sitting right in front of me, and it was you that said this. But we were sitting in an elite meeting at Disney World, and all the elite coaches go around the room and tell who they were and where they were from. Do you remember this?
Vaguely.
You know what I'm getting ready to say?
No.
So it gets to Dennis, and Dennis is like, yeah, I was 5-star, and then I dropped out of rank, and I'm really upset about it, and I'm never going to let that happen again. Do you remember this?
Holy crap. Did I really? No, man. I don't remember that whatsoever.
Yeah, and you were sitting in front of me. And let me tell you why it stuck.
The story.
I know. Let me tell you why I'm telling you the story, because I'm sitting there behind you as you told this story, and I was like, wow, this guy is really brave to be this honest with all these other elite coaches that are peers of ours. And I had a lot of respect for you for doing that, because a lot of people would not be open and honest enough to share the frustrations that they were having at that moment in their business, and to tell the whole entire elite room that I'm going to fix it this year and I will be back here next year. And not only were you back next year, but you were back and your wife was elite.
Yeah.
And you guys, if I'm not mistaken, Dennis and Julie are one of only 4 couples that I know of that have made elite together.
Right.
It was you guys, the Reeds, the Wards, and the Nelsons. Those are
not Jimmy and Kelly.
no, Jessica and
Jessica. Yeah,
those Nelsons.
Right.
The other Nelsons. So, but yeah, anyway, I tell that story because I had a lot of respect for Dennis, and he and I talked on that trip in the weight room at Disney, and
that's
we
right.
have tried to stay in touch with each other. We haven't, and I'll take responsibility. We have not stayed accountable to each other like we planned on doing, but I had this kinship with him. I had this connection with him, and even though I only see him at Beachbody events, I love him and Julie, and I love his sponsor who got him into this, which is Chris Reed, who's also one of the most amazing men, and his wife are amazing that I know of. And so when we book people on this call, I want it to be people of this caliber. And so with that, I want to turn it over to Dennis, and Dennis, it's okay if you want to be candid with them, because they're very used to it. So I know
good.
Earlier you were like, I might
give
give you face. But anyway, so Dennis, the floor is all yours, and I'm going to mute myself, and it is all you, buddy.
Awesome. All right, guys. Todd, thank you so much, my friend. I don't remember that, man, but, I really hope that, I wasn't really complaining, because I hate complaining, especially when it's something that I can fix. But it really sounds like I was just being really transparent.
You
and
were.
I am that kind of person.
No, you were definitely not complaining. You were actually being inspiring and being like, hey, I own this. I'm going to fix it. And I was just like, wow, that's really cool.
Awesome. Okay, good. All right, man, that makes me feel better. All right, guys, I am going to bring a little bit of heat. I am going to be in your face just a little bit tonight, only because I think that you guys can, hear it, and you need that sometimes. Just like Todd and I need that sometimes too. And that's the whole great thing about, having success partners, accountability partners. Even if you talk to them once a month or what have you, you can be real with these people. And right now, I'm going to be your virtual success partner only for about 30 minutes, because I'm going to tell you what you need to hear to help your business be more successful. First off, I want to start out by saying, thank you for being on this call. And I really say that for Todd. And because whenever you guys show up, not just on the calls, but whenever you show up on the team page, that makes a leader feel awesome to see people care about this business. And if you don't have a team yet, or maybe you do have a team, and some of those people are on this call with you, that makes you feel good. And if you're a new coach, whenever you have new people show up on your team calls or show up on this team call and they make a presence in the team page, it's going to feel good. So lead by example and do that. But kudos to you guys for jumping on this call tonight. And that goes for all the people that are actually going to be listening to the recording later, because I'm sure you're going to share the recording on the team page like we do too.
If you race through life,
oh my goodness, I have no idea what that is.
you'll speed past all.
There we go. All right. Sorry about that, guys. There we go. All right. So where you are at in your business is where you deserve to be. And I recently was told that, or heard that, by my coach. And my coach that that brought me into this business, he was actually my old police sergeant. I was a police officer for 12 years before I retired to do Beachbody full time. And whenever he told me that, it really stung a little bit. And I want that to sting you tonight. Where you're at is where you deserve to be. I don't care if you're an Emerald coach, if you're a Diamond coach, if you're a Star Diamond. What you get out of this business is what you put in. So if you're not happy where you're at, you could always put in more effort if you wanted to. I've been a 5-star for 3 years in a row, okay? Granted, I've been elite for 3 years in a row. I have lost diamonds. I have gained 40 pounds back. It's like things kind of ebb and flow, and I own up to it, because where I want to be, I'm eventually going to get there. I really do feel that, I'm constantly going to be striving for even greater things, but where I am right now is where I deserve to be, and the same goes for you too. I used to be a really, really big guy. I was almost 300 pounds. You can see in that top left picture right there. And like I said, I was a police officer as well, and I did that for 12 years. And whenever I was approached, this business, I was a big power lifter. I was a gym goer, and I went to the gym for 10 years. And, my claim to fame was being like the strongest guy in the gym. I could bench press almost 500 pounds raw. I can throw some weight around, man, or used to, granted. And, but, whenever I used to hear about Beachbody, it would be something that I would poke fun at. I would really make fun of everyone that's on the infomercial. I would be the guy that call it a gimmick. My wife would be doing old school Turbo Jam, at the house, and like old school Power 90, like that old set on the beach. And I forget how you pronounce it, a kilo, whatever you call it. She used to do all that crap. And I would be the guy making fun of her because I was the one in the gym and Beachbody was lame. And, that's just who I was. But yet I was almost 300 pounds. I had high blood pressure, high cholesterol. And I just really made a lot of excuses for myself. And, one of the first excuses I remember making about my health was that since I was a police officer and I was always fighting people and always wrestling people and taking people to jail, that I needed to be a bigger dude. Leave it to, the canine to catch these people if they take off running. That's their job. My job is if they fight, or if I could at least catch up to them within the, first 20 feet, then I'm going to get a hold of them, and that's going to be the end of the deal. But there are a lot of people that ran from me, and, sadly I couldn't catch them all because I was so big. But anyways, yeah, that's who I was. And whenever I was approached about this business in July of 2010, my coach approached me merely about the business. He said, "Hey man, I know you like to make money, and you've always been entrepreneurial minded. Why don't you look at this? Because I've lost 67 pounds and I'm making $300 a week." And at the time, not only was I 290 something pounds, but in cops, we really don't make that much money. I mean, I remember making around $45,000, $50,000, which isn't, too much as a police officer. But, we were just really, really bad with money. My wife had a job as a banking manager, and she made decent bank too. But again, we were just really, really crappy with money. And I remember working a lot of off-duty gigs. And an off-duty gig as a police officer is whenever on your days off, you have to leave your family again, not just including your normal shift work, but you have to sign up to work outside of your home again, away from your family, and to make extra money to make ends meet. And not only did we have to do that, but my wife, she worked at the bank 40 to 50 hours a week, and she had to clean a funeral home part-time while she took the kids up there. So she's cleaning the funeral home around dead bodies and whatnot, and the kids are just running through the funeral home and all that other stuff, and they're seeing DBs all over the place. And it was just it was just not, DB does not stand for douchebag. It's dead bodies. But, it's that was our life, and we were always in the red. We were always in the overdraft protection. So I needed this opportunity just as much as anyone else. So I said yes. I said, let's do it. But you know what? Immediately after signing up, I started to drink my Shakeology, and next thing you know, that crap's coming out of my account, and so does the club membership, and so does the business fee. And I'm like, WTH, man, Beachbody's stealing my freaking money. What the heck is this? And I canceled, got a refund on my club, and that's the kind of coach that I used to be. So I went inactive for like 3.5 months. I didn't do squat. Granted, I was always trying to, promote the product, but I sure as heck didn't use it. And back then, since I still thought Beachbody was lame, I did not do a Beachbody workout. No. That didn't come till later. So, about September of 2010, I faxed in my stuff to quit. Twice, actually. I faxed my stuff in to quit because I felt that since I wasn't making any money, because I thought that I was doing all the right things, which I wasn't, since I wasn't producing any results, I wasn't helping anyone get started, I'm just going to quit this gig altogether. So that's what I tried to do. I see it, me and my wife both see it as divine intervention, that both of those faxes did not go through. And I really felt that God wanted me here for a reason. So I stayed. And I would like to think that was the moment that I went all in, was that moment that I really felt that there was some divine intervention that was present there. But it wasn't. I was still really apprehensive about this whole thing, even though I stayed put. Now, I did get back on my shakes. I did that. But I still thought Beachbody workouts were lame, and I wasn't going to do any of them. I went to my first – I was actually coaxed into going to my first Beachbody event. And back then, they were called game plan events. And if you're old school, you know what a game plan event is. And the game plan event, the game plan is something like the 3 vital behaviors, except back 5 years ago, there were 10 things that we were supposed to do every day, while we all have 3 things to do now. So I went to this event, and whenever you hear Todd and other leaders on your team talking about Super Saturdays, guys, it's not because they get little kickbacks. It's not because, we have little bitty side bets going on as leaders talking about, hey, let's see how many people you can get there, and winner takes all the pot. Guys, we want you to go there because you get your aha moments there. And that's where I had my aha moment. My first event that I went to, and that was whenever I seen, coach after coach go up on stage at this event and talk about what Beachbody has done for them. If I did not go to that event, I guarantee you I would not be here right now, because it showed me that other people were having success besides my coach that got me into this. And they were normal people that were paying their mortgages and paying their car payments and bringing people home. And I'm like, I remember talking to Julie about it. I'm like, why couldn't we do the same thing? These people are no more deserving. They are no more better. Why not us? And that was the moment that it all clicked. I went in Emerald immediately following that event because I found my first discount coach, and then I signed Julie up because I knew her social. She wasn't ready to work the business yet, but I knew her social security number by heart, and I made that happen. Emerald, bam. And then mistakenly, I got put into a diamond group. And if you've ever been in a diamond group, then you know exactly what that's about. Our diamond group was 90 days long. And there was homework that we had to do, like required reading, and you had to fill out these business activity trackers, and you had to send them in, and blah, blah, blah. And it was really boring stuff, but it worked. I made diamond in 80 days during that group. And still at the time, Julie wasn't on board. And but I continued to make Success Club. Whenever I had, and whenever I went diamond, 95% of my organization was discount coaches, but I kept finding people. And sure enough, slow but surely, I had builders come on board, and I turned those builders into leaders, and basically stuck with Success Club. I've been in Success Club for like 56 months now. I'm always going to make it, even when I'm like really, really old, I'm sure, because it's a necessity. And, my coaches, I want them to see if there's anything that you can look back. If I can expand my business, where I am now to where I started, the one thing that I was consistent at always, maybe it wasn't doing a power hour every day. Maybe it wasn't doing my workouts every day or doing my personal development. If you broke it down by months, it was Success Club. That was the one thing. The reason why I'm making six figures right now and the reason I've been elite 3 times is because of Success Club, and I stick to that crap every month. And if you're serious about this business, you will too. So now we're going to be going over a lot of common mistakes that I made in the very beginning and even some here recently. And, and these may sound a little bit familiar to you guys, and I want them to kind of heat you up a little bit. One of the first excuses you're going to make as a new coach is that you don't have enough time to work your business. Your home direct is just way too expensive, and everyone is saying no. Wah. We have all been there. We have all been there, guys. In the very beginning, when I was a police officer, I worked midnight shifts. I was always working off-duty jobs, like I told you. I was working holidays. I have a family. I'm a father of 2. Julie was working a job. There was a lot of activities at church that we're involved with, and things were crazy. I'm not saying your life is not crazy. I'm just telling you, if you want this business to go somewhere, you're going to have to sacrifice something else. And at the time, the things that I sacrificed was TV. I cut it completely out. During the Diamond Group, I didn't watch a lick of television at all. And back in the day, I was really into watching 24 and really big into watching Heroes. That's like my jam back in the day. And I did not watch a single show. And another thing that I'd skimped out on was we did not go out to eat. We did not go out with other couples. We saved our money. We stayed at home. If there was any free moment whenever I was not at work or being present with my family, it was working this business. And, I remember whenever I was on day shift one year, that, we worked sometimes 10, sometimes 12-hour shifts. I remember getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning, and I would work my business for 30 to 45 minutes generally. I would do my workout. I would get ready. I would be at work. Whenever a lunch break came around, when I was on patrol, while all the other guys were wanting to go have 40, that's what we called lunch 46. They're like, hey, they get on the radio, hey, 252, we're going to be 46 and at this location, you can 25, actually, AKA meet up with us and you can have lunch with us. And I'm like, no guys, I'm good. And I drank my shake in my car, or I ate some food that I brought with me. And I worked even more inside my patrol car, either on my phone, on the laptop that was inside the patrol car, or on my iPad every day at work. And it was worth it. While people were clowning on me for doing all these things, drinking my shake during briefing, or what have you, they were clowning on me, and I was banking on taking this thing and just laughing all the way to the bank. And that's what happened. I'm here right now, and I work like 3 to 4 hours a day, maybe on a good day. And while those chumps are, still at the PD working and really it's just sucking the life out of them. So I have no regrets right there. So you really are going to have to find time to work your business. You're going to have to make it a priority. Somewhere during the day, you're going to have to make a sacrifice and make sure your power hour gets done every single day. And if you don't know what a power hour is, then it's basically a set group of activities where you invite, you follow up, you do your PD, your personal development, and you make sure that crap gets done every day. And if you do it right, it should not take more than 1 hour. So if you can stick to 1 hour a day without your workout, then you're good to go. Just be consistent with it. The other excuse about your home direct being too expensive, hey, remember me? That used to be me. I was the guy that canceled his shakes the next month, canceled the club because I didn't have the money. But what I really failed to realize in the very beginning was that I can budget for this, but not only that, I can make money because I have a business. This business makes money, and it's a choice to make money in this business, to be consistent. So your business is earning more money, so that Shakeology coming out of your account every month is not a burden. It doesn't have to be a burden. The next one is everyone is saying no to me. And I tell you what, we had an opportunity call last night, before I did a guest appearance for another team. And, it was, I think I invited 20 people to that call, 20 people. And I had, I think, 2 show up. maybe even one. And that's the way it is. And that's the way it's always going to be. If you can embrace the fact that not everyone's going to say yes to you. But if you are a Grant Cardone fan, I don't know if you know who that author is. He's the author who wrote the 10X Rule. He'll tell you straight up, there is no shortage of people out there who need you. So if everyone is saying no, there's way more people out there. There's plenty of people to go around for all of us. Carl Daikeler's whole vision is 100 million customers and having 1 million coaches. And guys, we ain't getting close to that. We have like 300,000, but I guarantee you half of that, if not more, is discount coaches. So if you're working, baby, there are plenty of people out there who need you. You just have to turn over enough stones. You have to put yourself out there enough. You have to go to the people and not rely on them to come to you. I mean, it boggles my mind to think that there's coaches out there who think that they can make the most awesomest business post on Facebook, the most awesomest challenge group post on Facebook, and they expect people to just approach them about that, and where you're totally relying on that instead of going to the people. If I could show you my messenger, if I could show you my messenger on Instagram, it is filled with me approaching people about this business. So everyone says no to me. Everyone says no to Todd. But I guarantee you, those yeses are there. If they weren't there, then I wouldn't be making Success Club as much as what I could. I don't know why those green things are all over my screen. I have no idea. Do you see that? That's weird. Look at that.
Is one of your kids in there playing with it?
Dude, no. So weird. The next excuse is you just don't have the motivation to work your business. And let me tell you, that happens to me all the time, guys. That happens to me all the time. But whenever that does happen, it's because I take my eyes off the prize and I forget why I'm doing this. And the reason why you're doing this business is going to change over the years. In the very beginning, it was so I could get out of the red. It's so I could log into my bank account and I didn't have to see that negative number. It's so I could have enough money to buy gas or to buy groceries that week without dipping into the overdraft protection. Later on in 2011, my wife and I did Dave Ramsey. In 2011, it was all about paying off debt. And that year, we paid off every credit card in her car. And, that's what in 2012, it changed to bringing her home. And then in 2013, it was bringing me home. And right now, my why, honestly, is, just enjoying the lifestyle that I have right now. Just have a growing team, my income's growing, and being completely debt-free. We have a vision that, I just want to share with y'all that, my wife and I, we are really, really big into RVing. And, that's one thing that we want to continue to do. We want to continue to RV as a family. And so, our great vision in 10 years from now is to be completely debt-free, no car payments, no house payment. Our house is 3 years old. So instead of paying on it for 3 years, we're going to pay on it for, less than 10. And that's just, I don't know, it's awesome, So if you lack motivation, you're going to have to go back to the reason why you started this. And I remember, whenever I was having calls with the corporate sales team, he told me, this is when I was at the PD still, and I was having like weekly or bi-weekly calls with him. He was like, Dennis, I want you to write out, what you want. And I want you to write a typical day, whenever you're a full-time coach. And I'm assuming that if you're a working coach in this call, your ultimate goal is to be a full-time coach. So you don't have to go to a typical job. So I wrote out a normal day as a full-time coach, from waking up to going to bed, everything included in that day and how I felt. And I read that piece of paper every day, most especially, sometimes even more than once, whenever I was having a crappy month, when it really seemed like everyone was saying no to me. Maybe I gained some weight and maybe I got poked fun at or something like that. I don't know. But, I read that piece of paper all the time, and that provided the motivation I needed to get my butt moving like it needed to go. So if you like motivation, you're going to think of why you started. Go back to that. All right, this next excuse is something that happens maybe whenever you're an emerald coach or whenever you're a diamond coach. I remember being a diamond coach for like 9 months straight. Actually, it was like a year straight. I was a diamond coach for a year straight, and which is just really an ungrateful attitude to have of, thinking that, wow, I'm only a diamond coach and I can't find any workers and yada, yada, yada. And you're really, whenever you think about that, a lot of the times you really take the focus off your own business and you watch other people's businesses. Maybe you're having people that are throwing down a whole bunch of Success Club points. Maybe you're seeing people on your team page that are just like busting out emeralds left and right. They're busting out diamonds. And then you're looking at your business and you're feeling sorry for yourself. Don't be ungrateful about your business. And those people are doing all the right things, and, some businesses, they grow slower than others. Mine especially. If I can go back in 2011 and really and take a look at the reason why I wasn't growing as a diamond, it came down to my leadership activities. It's like I was signing people up. I was making Success Club, and once I signed them up, I did not stay with them. It was like I didn't abandon them or anything like that, but I'm like, I didn't work with them at all. And that's something that I changed, that I recognized, and I changed, and I don't do that anymore. But, we have this one coach in our team. She's been a diamond for like 6 months. And she's always coming to me, Dennis, what am I doing wrong? What am I doing wrong? And she's throwing down like 15, 20 points a month. And she's like, I'm only a diamond. And I'm like, you're only a diamond? Only a diamond should never be put together at all, because you're still in the top 1% of the company. Diamond is awesome, okay? Diamond is awesome. Be grateful. Continue doing what you're doing, and then your workers are going to show up. But it really comes down to, a numbers game. Just like if you want to find more yeses, you're going to have to talk to a lot more people. If you want to find more workers, you're going to have to sign more people, which means you're going to have to talk to more people. If you only sign one coach a month, the likelihood of that coach becoming one of your rock stars is slim. But if you're signing 3 to 5 coaches a month, the likelihood is pretty great that maybe 2 or 3 of those coaches are going to become emeralds, and they're going to care about this thing just like you do, and they're going to be your next rock star. So increase your numbers, and you're going to find more of those workers. All right. So this next excuse, honestly, is something that I'm guilty of every now and then. And, there's a lot of men in this, and I'm looking right now, and there is a pretty good men guy representation on this team call with some of our brothers. It's one of those things where we look at this business and we think that, wow, look at all these women blowing this thing up. This is definitely a women's business, which is just a crock of crap, okay? You look at me and Todd, and you look at all the other dudes, which there is a bunch of other dudes who are successful. It's playing that whole comparison thing. I forget who says it, but there's somebody on our team who loves saying it, and I love it whenever she shares it. But she says, comparison is the thief of all joy, which is true. We kind of take a look at everyone else in the network. You go in your back office and you look under recognition and you see everyone that's blowing it up. You look at the top 10 and you look at their numbers. I mean, Melanie Mitro had like 2,500 elite points. Are you freaking kidding me? So it's going to be real easy even for me to sit back and be like, holy crap, what is she doing? There must be some special secret I don't understand. And the secret is, guys, that she's busting her butt way harder than I'm busting my butt. I'm working 3 to 4 hours a day, which I love my schedule, and I'm not willing to negotiate. She might be busting, 12-hour days as a coach. I don't even know. But there is no special secret. If there's somebody on your team right now that's throwing down a whole bunch of points, they're busting out diamonds and they're busting out emeralds, there is no special secret. The only secret is they're working harder than you. All right? And working, if you want to match their level, you can work harder too. It's really just a choice. So never think that it's just a big secret that everyone is out to get you, because they're not. They're just work harder and you'll have the same kind of experience. The next excuse I hear a lot of, and one that I experienced as well, maybe I didn't say this, but I used to be the guy that really had I wouldn't call her unsupportive because she's in the room with me, but, technically she was unsupportive. And, I hear this a lot, mainly from my women coaches. My husband isn't supportive. He makes fun of me. I get on the team calls and I make dream boards and, he's clowning on me. And, if he would come into this, then I would really blow this thing up, which is just crap. Okay. In a perfect world, would it be nice if your spouse joined you in this business and they cared about this thing just like you did? Absolutely. Absolutely. Julie, she did not care about this thing at all in the beginning. Granted, she loved Beachbody workouts, but she did not care about the business. She was the one that made fun of me for making dream boards. She was the one that made fun of me for every Monday night at 9 o'clock. I had to get on a team call, but I made her a believer. And there were a couple of reasons how I made her a believer. Number one is I made money. Okay. She's not a gold digger, but it is really hard to prove that this whole thing is a waste of time when your spouse is seeing weekly deposits in your checking account, okay? So you're going to have to prove to your spouse that this whole thing works. That means you're going to have to do all the right things, that you're going to have to be consistent. You're going to have to prove that what you're doing, like all the team calls and all the dream boards and, new coach trainings and whatnot, you're going to have to prove to your hubby that it's worthwhile. And that's by you making some money. Even if it's just a little bit, even if it's just to pay for your Shakeology or, slowly but surely pay off a little bit of debt. Maybe take your husband out on a date night one night with the money you earn with your coach business. That's something that you can do. And another way that I brought Julie into this business was, back before challenge groups were the cool thing to do, I had an accountability group on Facebook. And everyone that I brought in, I added to this group, and including her because, like I said, she was doing, I think insanity back then or something like that. And, so she was seeing everyone that I was adding to that page. And every time I would welcome somebody, she'd hop on there and be like, hey, welcome, yada, yada, yada. Now, she didn't know. I mean, she understood the business a little bit, but she was still on the outside skirts of everything. But there came a time whenever I was talking to female prospects, and I already knew the answer, but I would go to Julie and I would be like, hey, Donna Joe's a funny name. I don't know why I said that. Donna Joe has these goals, and what would you recommend her do? I mean, like I said, she'd already done Power 90 and Old School Turbo Jam and Insanity. So I knew that she knew the answer. She'd be like, well, this is what I would suggest to her. And I'm like, okay, awesome. Do you mind going on Facebook and sending her a message and, telling her, hey, this is what I'm going to recommend to you based on your goals. And here's the reason why. And before you know it, she fell in love with the process. She fell in love with the job of what we do as coaches. Now, I don't know what that looks like. If your spouse isn't on board, maybe your spouse does not love the workouts. Maybe he or she is just really ornery about you doing this whole thing, but there is some way where you can bring them in. Instead of leaving your spouse and your family on the opposite side of your dream, you need to include them somehow, okay? And I hear a lot of times of people telling me, you know what, I'm going to have to slow down with this business because my spouse is just really getting tired of all the work I'm putting into it, which means to tell me that you have a balance issue. That tells me that you're putting your husband or your wife on the outside of your dream instead of including them in the dream. They need to know the reason why you're doing this because they are included in that reason why. I guarantee you're not doing this business for your own selfish ambition. You're doing this business for them, for your family, for your husband, for your wife, so you can give them a better life. But they have to make sure that you have to make sure that they know that. And not only that, you have to work this business when it's inconvenient for you. That means you're going to have to do just like I did. You're going to have to get up early. You're going to have to work on your lunch break. You're going to have to, after the kids go to bed, you're going to have to work maybe a little bit more. Okay? Work this business whenever it's inconvenient for you and not for your family. Because if you're always, I don't have my phone beside me, but if you're always on the couch and you got your phone out and you're always answering people and your messenger's blowing up and you're giving your business your time before you give family their time, you're doing it wrong. And that's not the type of legacy that I guarantee you Todd wants you to that Todd wants you to lead, or that Todd is going to leave with you. I guarantee you that he still gives his family the time that they deserve, and your family deserves that time as well. And so it's so in closing, and another thing that my coach Chris always told me, he's like, Dennis, if this business is important to you, then you're going to find a way to do it, and you're going to find a way to hit your goals. And I'm going to tell you the same thing. If your business is important to you, then you're going to be consistent. You're going to find a way to be consistent. You're going to choose to be consistent, and you're going to find a way to find people. You're going to be consistent. You're going to find a way to make Success Club. You're going to find a way to be a leader that you are right now, because frankly, I see everyone as a leader. Rank does not mean leadership. Income does not mean leadership. Leadership is made by the activities that you do consistently. You earn that title. And is not, there's tons of other coaches out there that make more money than me. I guarantee you that. But I tell you what, that does not mean that they're a better leader than I am. And the same goes for you. So if this business is important to you, you're going to find a way to be a leader. If it's important to you, then you're going to groom your own leaders. And if this is important to you, then you're going to make your dream a reality. And I really hope that you do have a big vision for this. I'm that's the type of person that I am. I'm a dreamer. My wife will tell you right now, I am a dreamer. I love thinking 5-10 years ahead. And that's what I've always done. And that's what I'm going to continue to do. And I really do hope that you have a vision of what you want this business to do for you. Maybe it's paying debt off. Maybe it's, receiving the financial awards on stage at Summit. How amazing would that be? That would be freaking awesome to get up on stage to shred your mortgage or what have you. If that's your vision, awesome, go with that. If your dream is to retire from your job, then write that down and do that. There are other people out here who have been consistently devoting time to this business, getting results, who are walking away from their jobs. You know what? And I challenge you. I guarantee you there's somebody on this call right now that's like folding their hands and shrugging their shoulders and thinking that that's never going to be me. I love my job too much, for me to ever retire. And I challenge you to work your butt off to put yourself in a position to leave your job. And whenever you're making more than your job, or even maybe an equal amount that you're making, I guarantee you're going to wonder why you're still going into work. But don't tell me that you would never leave your job until you're making enough money to make that decision, because that's the same thing that I did. I matched my income. I was making a little bit more. And I remember someone on my team telling me that, Dennis, that job is robbing time away from you and your family. If the money is there, if you have peace about the decision, leave. And I did. I was always the person who was going to be a cop. I love that job. I really did. I love serving the community. I love taking people to jail. I was the guy that liked writing tickets. Okay. I know you hate those motor jocks, police officers on the motorcycles and whatnot, but that's who I was. And I love that gig. And, but I'll tell you what, there were a lot of things that I didn't like about the job either. I hated missing all the family time and watching my kids grow up. I remember, my wife had to give me play-by-play action from my son at his ball game after he hit a home run, and I was stuck on patrol. I hated that. So put yourself in a position to leave your business, leave your job, and let's see if you still make that decision, because I guarantee you won't. But it's seriously all it takes to find people, to make Success Club, to be a better leader, to groom your own leaders, to make your dream a reality. All it takes is a decision. All it takes one decision. You are one choice away from being your own kind of rock star. And maybe, I don't know, maybe you want to be like, all the other elite coaches. Maybe you have something else that you want to do. I really do think that my goals don't have to be your goals. Todd's goals don't have to be your goals. You're going to have your own goals. But all it takes is a decision to do that, a constant decision. And that's all I got, brother, man.
Dennis, I didn't think it was possible to love you any more than I already did. But we were sitting there, and you don't know how many times Alicia was like, oh, my God, I love him. Oh, my God, I love him. Oh, my God, I love him. And there was even – and you even hit home on some moments because she's cut back to 2 days a week at her dental job that she loves. And the whole time you're talking, I'm like hitting her. There have been so many especially the last couple of weeks, there have been times where I looked at her and I'm like, she would be nice enough to fill in for somebody the last 2 weeks. And I'm like, she filled in last Thursday. And I'm like, you'll never do it again because it was the worst Thursday of my life not having her here because I need her here to do the business.
Exactly.
And you'll also be proud to know that – are you a Cowboys fan?
Unofficially.
All right. Well, the Panthers are playing the Cowboys in Dallas on Thanksgiving Day. And we are booking a RV tomorrow to road trip it down and spend Thanksgiving in Dallas for the Cowboys game.
Holy crap, man. That is awesome.
Yeah, so RV, we used to have a travel trailer for a while, but after Alicia actually said today, she was like, if we like doing this, that should be one of our goals on our vision board is to get an RV. So hearing you talk about that I knew you were into RVing because I've seen you post about it.
Dude, it is so much fun. And we have a big diesel pusher, a big motor coach right now. And I didn't really share this, but we used to homeschool our kids. So we would actually run 2 businesses plus homeschool our kids. And we loved teaching our kids, but they're the ones who hated it because they said that we sucked as teachers. So whatever. So they wanted to go back to public school. So actually the RV that we have right now, it's huge, and it's too huge because we're only going like maybe once a month now, maybe once every 2 months. So we're going to get like a fifth wheel, which means I'm going to have to get me a diesel truck. That's a good problem to have. And all that good stuff.
Dude, I cannot thank you enough for being on the call. Julie, thank you for the time. I know both of you have got a lot going on. And I would love to return the favor. Just let me know. And I just really appreciate your time, man. I really do. Thank you so much.
Of course. You guys be good. Rock it, okay?
See you soon. Hey, maybe I'll see you at Thanksgiving. I'll see you at Leadership before then.
Yeah, you will.
All right,
see
bro.
you guys.
I'm going to call you next week.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.